Okay, welcome everybody to the final match of Season 4 of Division 1 and the final match of 2017, and we've got a very interesting one. Just to put it in context, it's at the bottom of the screen. Whiskey Burn is Oliver King. He's up against Jason Clark at the top. Heading into this match, the favourite or the person in first place to win was Bob Debonese. Bob would have won Division 1 had he defeated Josh Grace in all three, but he went down. He won 2-1, but the 2-1 meant that it was then Emerson's turn. If Emerson could win all three, he would take the lead. Unfortunately, he also could only win 2-1. So now we arrive at this match with Bob having an 11-point lead. So it means if Oliver can win all three matches, he will be Division 1 champion, the grand champion for Season 4. If he fails to win all three formats, then Bob Debonese is a champion. On the other side for Jason, unfortunately for him, he's one place above the relegation zone. He's safe, he'll be in Division 1 next year, but he can't improve his position, so he's playing for pride. The cards on the screen, you can see the red-white version is Jason. Just have a look at Oliver. He's been on this deck build for quite a while actually. Straight up Temur Energy. He does play a couple of main deck counter spells in there as well. He's going to choose to Lightning Strike this down. You can see he's got the Sweltering Suns there. It looks like a bit of a spicy homebrew there, Sunbird's Invocation. He doesn't have the fourth land, otherwise I would have been tempted to Ixalan's Binding that Whirl of Virtuoso. The fourth land's going to come in tapped. Has the second Lightning Strike. Just switch over to Oliver's hand. So Oliver with maybe a little bit of pressure on him, knowing that he has to go through the motions to win here. There is quite a distance between these two. I'm just going to bring up the scoreboard, the standings now, because there are formats at stake here as well. I just have the live ladder, so all with the most up-to-date scores. In Standard, Oliver can actually win Standard. The Standard, he's the Division 1 Standard champion for win here. He's a point back on Bob and Emerson. So if he wins the format here, he's going to win. And Modern, he cannot win. Bob's already won Modern. I've already won Legacy. So this is a bit of extra spice here for the Standard match. In terms of formats, just to give you points, context, Oliver's on 25 points for the Standard, Jason's on 15. This is by far Jason's best format this season. Legacy he only scored 8 points, and Modern he scored only 7. So, judging by his form, if he's going to pick up a... Well, here's the Ixalan's Binding I mentioned before. It's a very good card. So it means that Oliver cannot play Whirl of Virtuoso again until this Binding is gone. As I was saying, going by form, if Jason is going to take a format, this one here, Standard, is most likely. Yeah, Jason's on. I'm not up to date with the most sort of cutting edge Standard decks, but Jason, I haven't seen this deck he's playing before. Some sort of home brewed concoction, I'm guessing. Two of those Sunbird's Invocations now. Treasure Map, what's that do? This, I don't know what it does, but it probably will bring out the counter from Oliver. Just because, no. I was going to say, Oliver might not be aware of what this does. Scry 1, put a counter on. Then if there are 3 more, remove those counters and transform it. Okay, so it's just a ramp spell. So he's got to get to 3 or more counters. So he's scrying now for his next turn. He's still at a pretty healthy 15 life, but we're going to see a... We're going to see the dragon come down. Glorybringer will probably come down next turn. Glorybringer is going to be a problem for the red-white deck, because you look at Jason's deck, he doesn't... He's going to have to use 2 spells to take it down, a Lightning Strike and an Abrade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 1 land shy of playing his Sunbird's Invocation. So we'll see if he wants to use a double spell here. I'm just going to have a look first, see what he's got coming off the top next. If it's another Ixalan's Binding, he might just take the hit. He keeps the card on top. Is he going to take 6 and go to 9? No, he's not. Oh, he's going to shoot down the Thopters, interestingly. So he's going to take 4 and go to 11. Does Oliver have another threat after this? He does have another Glorybringer, so another Ixalan's Binding would be excellent here. Oh, Chandra's going to bite the dust here, unfortunately. So it'll take down this Glorybringer, but there's another Glorybringer on the way. But it does mean that he can play... Treasure Map will go to 3. 3 counters. So now we have Treasure Cove, which enables him to draw a card, and he's got the 3 treasures, so he's got a hell of a lot of mana very quickly. He's going to be able to play that Sunbird's Invocation next turn. But the problem with the Sunbird's Invocation, it does nothing by itself. Just takes a safe route, picks off Chandra. Yeah, the Invocation does nothing by itself. It needs a spell to go with it. So, but for now, he's got 3 turns to get that Glorybringer off the battlefield. See, he finds another land. Going to draw a card first just to see. Oh, that could be tempting. 1, 2, 3, 4. It means he won't be able to play the Invocation this turn if he holds that up. He's going to hold it up, but Oliver does have the counter spell for it. As we look at Oliver's hand, he's got the Commit Memory. That puts it 2 cards deep. Oh no, he's going to let it resolve, so he's looking for something better for the Commit Memory. The telling play will be if he doesn't follow up here with the Rogue Refiner. Six cards in hand. Surely Jason knows something's going on. Okay, so he's going to play the Rogue Refiner. In that case, I'm a bit surprised that he let that happen. Although, with the Treasure Cove, he's getting two cards a turn. So here's the Invocation. I've got no idea what this thing, what his win con is here. So we're about to find out. I think he wants to use a treasure here. No, he doesn't need to. He can just use the Inspiring Vantage because the treasure will tap for either colour anyway. So here's the Invocation. Just switch to his hand. Just to read that out, whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. You may cast a card with converted mana cost X or less without paying its mana cost. So this is going to get interesting. It's a casting trigger, so it can't be counted, as he drops to 8. Long Tusk Cub, okay, so this is the plan. He's going to protect the Long Tusk Cub. See what he drew for the turn. I see. He's got to sacrifice a treasure in order to draw the card. Alright. Commit to memory. Oh, down goes Sunbird's Invocation. He's got another one coming, but... is it going to be too late? Yeah, I think he's just dead. No, cast out will mean he's going to survive, because he'll put 2 counters, 3, 4, 7. Oh, it'd be a point short. He's got. I think he's got to cast out now while Oliver's tapped out. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he can't cast out and Sunbird in the same turn. He still needs to find answers, and Oliver's got plenty of threats coming. Another Whirl of Virtuoso. Although the Virtuoso can't be cast, that's right, from the Ixalan's Binding. Unfortunately, you can't hover over it, and it doesn't tell you what the card is, but I believe it was a Whirl of Virtuoso from earlier. 3-turn clock. And we know that not the next card, but the card after is another one of the Sunbird's Invocations. Cannot cast that. It's interesting here because Oliver's got a lot of dead cards. It'll be interesting to see how many come out. Has Jason's draw now. Oh, he's got an approach. So he's got a number of... That's going to help him gain some life. He's going to go up 7. Probably Oliver's surprised as I am to see that, actually. As you look at his hand, he's got a lot of his dead cards. In fact, his whole hand, except for the Spy Bluff, is dead. A 4-turn clock, and we know what Jason's next card is.
Daddy.
Yes?
When I go on the Cavalier show.
Alright then. So here's the invocation again. He is going to be able to cast 6 deep, but he's going to miss out on... Actually, if he casts the Sunbird's Invocation next turn, he's not going to be able to cast the approach, because it costs 7. Okay, so Oliver cycles for the turn. That's his draw. Hoping to hit something. He's kind of locked out at the moment. And another land. This is starting to get a bit worrying. It's 3-turn clock, 2-turn clock now. See what the draw is for... So Sunbird, even if he casts a Sunbird, he... Oh, okay, that changes things. No more Rogue Refiners, no more Whirl of Virtuosos. And he's going to get that trigger. What's he going to find? So he can probably play Gideon here. It's quite a nice card when it comes off. So no more Rogue Refiners. It'll be interesting to see how much enchantment removal Oliver has in his sideboard, or if he's going to try and combat this with counterspells. He makes an emblem with Gideon. I think I would have ticked Gideon up, because you've got to get him up to 5 so that and then another land, so Oliver's flooding badly now. He's got to get Gideon to 5 so that the dragon can't come down. But it's a race. Oh, there's the approach. So it's going to be game 1 to Jason. After all of that, wow. I didn't pick that one. It's a pretty cool deck he's playing, actually. Led by the Sunbird's Invocation. My only concern here as they go to sideboarding is if Oliver is packing 4 negates in the sideboard, it looks very bad news for Jason's deck. In red-white, he's got no way whatsoever of combating counter spells. So, particularly when some of these are quite heavy, heavy on the mana cost, we saw Chandra for 4, the Sunbird's Invocation for 6, Approach for 7, and all his removal seemed to hover. I mean, he had a few burn spells, but his removal seemed to be hovering around the 4 mana cost. They're just still in the sideboarding. We're back now. Okay, let's see. It'll be interesting to see what they've brought in. So we've got some creatures this time for Jason. I still have no idea what's going on over there. We look at Oliver's hand. There's the negate. You would imagine that Jason. I preface this by saying I really enjoy Jason's deck, but I kind of am a bit concerned that perhaps the jig is up here, and now that Oliver knows what he's dealing with, I think we'll see what's happened there. It's Jason missed his lane drop. I think he's let me just see his hands. I don't know if they've got... Yeah, Jason's gone and missed his... I think he's F9'd through. What is it? It looks like he's got a... Takadal Honor Guard. I don't know what that can do on standard. Yeah, I think he set himself too far behind now. Fumigate's going to be a good one here, but with negate in hand for... Oliver will be pretty confident that all the removal is going to be coming down turn 4 and 5, so he can safely play that Hydra now. We'll see. Gideon's not a good play here. He can't play it anyway, doesn't have the second white source. Yeah, but I'm just curious if Jason's on some sort of a transformational sideboard here. But you can see here, Oliver can safely play that second Hydra because he's tapped out. I'm just seeing if Jason's got a second white source. He chose to play that Sunscorched Champion, so he's really getting hurt by missing that first turn. Missing his land drop on turn 1. And Bristling Hydra, I suspect, is going to be very difficult to get rid of. Well, it'll be interesting to see here actually if Oliver, he'll play the Hydra out here, I'd imagine, and then he can hold negate up for, I forget the name of that exile all attacking creatures card, but then when he doesn't see it, I wonder if he's going to suspect that there's no sweeper in hand and get caught by the Fumigate. We'll have to wait and see. Jason, you can see he's got the 5th land there. What does he want to do here? He's going to eternalize the Sunscorched Champion. So it's a 4/4. So it's going to eat up some of the... power on the Bristling Hydra, because the Hydra is going to have to he's going to have to click twice, use 6 to get out of range of the Sunscorched champion here. I think he's got another yeah, he's got another one as well. So this is going to... he could have double blocked actually to get around that. See if Oliver's got a removal spell. He doesn't. He's going to give up one of them, okay. Yeah, he's keeping up negate, but it looks like you can see the appetite for the unnatural there. He doesn't run the second, so he's just respecting with the negate. What do you do if you're Jason here? I think he... Well, he's got the Settled Wreckage. I might try and bait him with the Settled Wreckage first. The problem he has here, he's going to bait him with the Settled Wreckage, but Oliver will know about this Sunscorch, so he chose not to play it that turn, which is sort of a dead giveaway of what's going on. It is going to get the... So it'll get the Settled Wreckage. This is going to work out alright for Jason, assuming that Oliver didn't draw a second negate. No, he didn't. Because I think, yeah, he's going to play this. I think it's going to get negated. And then it's going to encourage Oliver to commit further to the board with that Rogue Refiner. And then he's going to be out of cards. Well, I don't know why Jason just conceded. I think that was a mistake. He had that in a very strong position in that match. Particularly as he had the Fumigate to follow up. But I think it's a very premature concession. And we're going to go to a game 3. So everything on the line in game 3 now. Oliver wins. He is the standard champion. And it'd be interesting to see what Jason does this time, because you'd imagine that Oliver probably sided out a lot of his creature removal. I wonder if he's going to bring it back in, and if Jason's going to then side out his creatures. Yeah, but I think it was a big mistake conceding at that point. I think Jason was in a very good position, particularly as he could have eternalized the life gain in the grave. Both players have kept their 7, so no mistakes this time with the first land. Let's see what Oliver's got. He's got his negate again. But you can see he doesn't have a lot of threats. Oh, actually no, 3 servants. This card, I don't know what it's in here for. There's that 3 mana red card that does 1 damage every time a creature enters the battlefield, but I don't know why you wouldn't main deck this card just for that. I can't think of any other cards in Standard that cause a trigger when they enter the battlefield. Oliver's not mucking around. He's probably suspecting that there's not a lot of creatures to deal with. He's going to go to Sunscorched Champion. So Jason taking the aggressive route here. We'll see how Oliver wants to play this. Going to a tune. Oh, okay. So maybe this don't cause ability. Yeah. So servant, he wouldn't if the Takata Honor Guard was in, he wouldn't get the energy from the servant. Okay, that makes sense. No viable blocks here. He can just take this down, take down the servant if he wants. He doesn't. He can use. I was going to say he can use the abrade to take down a Hydra with the energy trigger on the stack, but unfortunately for him, Oliver's got plenty of energy to pay for that. Combat phase. He's going to remove on his turn. Don't think Oliver's interested in protecting the conduit. I think he is interested in keeping up negate for a possible Chandra. Which he is, yes. Is this gonna bite in a braid? Hello? Yeah. Where's the Alma de Cuba? Okay then. I can walk straight down Pine to 16th. Walnut to Pine. So no, you walk down 16th to Pine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you shortly. Okay, love you, bye bye.